Hello guys, as promised, I said I was going to do a Little League draft review, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Before I start, I just want to go ahead and say I've got about 8 months worth of experience playing backyard baseball. I didn't know about backyard baseball at all before then, so some of you in the Little League were probably playing this years and years ago. Were probably playing this when you were kids. So at least as far as the actual backyard kids go, yous might have more experience than I do, to be honest with you. So take what I say. I'm going to give these teams ratings out of 10. I'm not going to go too hard because I don't see there's a point. A lot of you are having your first season online, so it seems a bit harsh to give you an actual, rating, shall I say, of whereabouts you're going to be. But I'll rate the teams out of 10, and you can kind of do with that what you will. So let's go ahead and have a look. So we're going to start at the bottom. I obviously was around for the draft, admin, but I haven't had the chance to look at the completed teams. Now, this is also before trade week, so things might change, but we'll work with it, right? We're just going by what it currently looks like going into trade week. So let's go at the bottom. We'll go at the bottom and work our way up. So we are going to start, not with that because that's SDL. I are going to start with Nick J. So let's start with that. Right, so straight away, Cheryl, Susan, can't go wrong with that. Looking at this team, first thing I spot, that amount of arm is ridiculous. That is a lot of arm. Oh my god. 98, 74, 84, 84, 94, 90. Even Nikki's got the arm too. I mean, in the later rounds, you're gonna the arm's gonna fall off a bit. There's not a whole lot you can do about that. There is later round characters that have a lot of arm, but I feel like you're sacrificing so much to get that arm that it's not really worth it. So I don't mind if the later round players don't have huge amounts of arm. I think it's unavoidable. Even in the Little League, where Little League gets very generous drafts because there's usually less players than there is in other leagues. So you do get really generous drafts. Like Cheryl Susan isn't unreasonable. It's a little generous, but it's not unreasonable. But there's some of these teams that'll go through, and they're grossly unrealistic. Like some of you have had drafts that are like unreal. Make use of this while you can, because after this first season, and you end up going to SDL, some of you might stay in the league, but the majority of you might go to SDL or might move a little higher up. You won't get a draft like this again. This is as good as it's going to get, so enjoy it while you can. My last season's draft, God, it was so good. Compared to this season, I hate this season's draft. As soon as you get into that second season, you realise very quickly, God, I had it good. So, Susan, Cheryl, the Webbers, solid defence, loads of arm. Jeff, loads of arm. You have to put Nikki at catcher here, I think. I think Jeff's too useful in the field. Sydney, well, both the Webbers are far too useful in the field. Susan, I mean, you're not going to put Susan a catcher anyway with 74 arm, but it's plenty of arm. It's enough arm that you could put Susan. I don't think I'd put Susan in the outfield. But looking at your team, actually, I think Cheryl. Do I put Cheryl or Susan in the outfield? That's a question. Cheryl has the arm, but I feel like that 100 coordination, I feel like if you have someone in the outfield, the higher chance of getting that catch outweighs the arm, I think. Especially considering they both have the same amount of speed. I think Susan goes in the outfield. I put Cheryl at shortstop. Bags is just good all round. Bags can go anywhere, quite frankly. But put Nikki at catcher. The only issue I see with this team, potentially, is you have Luan and Derek. Now, these are both solid pitchers. Problem is, for a closing pitcher, and by closing pitcher, I mean last ditch, Cheryl can right hook in the last inning. Having 2 pitches is smart from a pitcher's standpoint, but I'm a little concerned. I have the same problem because I also drafted Luan. She's very one-tricky. And I feel like if she runs out of stamina, and Derek is your pitcher, once that juice runs out, Luan is a bit of a doorstop, and I don't know where you put Luan once the juice is gone. There's kind of nowhere you can put her. She's not great at anything. I guess you put her at third and hope for the best, but depends a bit on the pitch. But I think the only thing I disagree with this team is I wouldn't have went with Derek. I think you go with Luan, and then just if Luan runs out of juice, just try and get yourself through with Cheryl, or maybe Bags with the slow balls. Slow balls are good. I actually really like slow balls, but this is solid. This first five, really solid. Nikki, if you can get any home runs or any good hits from these final 4 rounds, I mean, it's just a bonus. So I'm going to give this, I think I'll give it out of 10. I was going to do letter gradings, but we'll give it out of 10. I'm going to go with, I think this is a soft 8. And I'm basing that off Little League. For Little League, it's a soft 8. For the SDL, it's a 10. And the majority of these are going to be 10s. But for the Little League, I'll give it an 8, a soft 8. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Yeah, okay. Zaya. Up next, Ahmed, Raul, Norma, Chipper, and Mia. Angela, Marky, Stephanie, Reese. Okay. Right, well, you've got the Mia Ahmed combo, so I kind of get... I was going to say I kind of get the lack of Chipper, Norma, Raul, Angela. I mean, Angela can hit bombs. 80 is more than enough over most fields to get you over the fence. Stephanie is fine. Reese is a little bit weak, but I will say, if you're picking Reese, I feel like putting Reese in the outfield could actually be pretty good. Like 100 coordination, 74 eye. Yes, he's too height, but out of these here, I think... Do you have a catcher? Oh, I don't think you have a catcher. I mean, obviously Raul has 100 arm, but I feel like Raul's too good to put catcher. Who do you put a catcher? Chip? No, Chip's too good too. I feel like... Damn. I'd put Ahmed at... Did I put Marky or Ahmed at first? I think I put Marky at first. Yeah, put Marky at first. Ahmed, I think, goes third. Put Stephanie Morgan at second. Put Reese in the outfield. And then I think I put Norma and Chip in the outfield. And put Raul at shortstop. Of course, that means Amia's going catcher. You can't put Amia at catcher. I don't particularly want to put Amia in the outfield either. Put Stephanie... I can't put Stephanie Morgan at catcher. Damn. Who's your catcher? I think Stephanie or Marky has to go catcher, but... No. Stephanie Morgan, I think, we'll take from second, put in the outfield, and we put Chip at catcher. God, it's a bit of a waste. Excuse me. It's a bit of a waste, but I think that's what we go with. Yeah, I think that's what I'd go with. I think it's solid. There's nothing particularly wrong with this. I think Ahmed first pick is a little undervalued, but you got Raul, so it's not that bad. I'm going to give this... I'm going to give it a week 7. I think it's a week 7. It's not terrible. You've got plenty of options. I just think the catcher position is going to be very contestable. I'd recommend, if I'm a Zaya, I'd go to trade and I'd try to trade and get another arm. Who would I trade? If I'm going to trade and I want another arm, who do I trade? I think I lose Marky. Do I miss Marky? Yeah, I lose Marky. Yeah, the only trade I'd recommend is getting rid of Marky, perhaps for someone with more arm. Apart from that, it's pretty solid. Yeah, we'll go week 7. We'll go week 7. Right, up on Bido. Excuse me. I'm just gonna call you BD. Chico, Jose, Zoe, Maynard, and Blakely, Star, Frankie. That's a lot of power. That is a lot of power. Star. Would I put Star first up for the batting order? I don't think I do, you know. I almost think I put Star second and then put Maynard up as your first. And then just go with someone like Chico. Chico's so good. Chico's so good. There's a nice easy like early tempo. Get some points on the board there. Loads of power. Arm is not atrocious. It's a little weak, but it's not too bad. Frankie Hawley can go and catch her. Blakely is kind of good enough that she can basically go anywhere. I think I put Blakely in the outfield. Jose only has 10 coordination. So I think he goes in the infield somewhere. I think Zoe goes in the outfield with Star. I have Sullivan. Well, I don't have Sullivan, but I had Sullivan last season, who is the clone. Well, not clones. They're both, they're both clones, technically, I guess. I don't know. But they're both same stats. And Sullivan was really good for me at centre forward. So I definitely suggest centre forward for Moonbeam. There's nothing particularly wrong with this team. You're a little down on height, but not really. With Blakely, Zoe, and Jose. Yeah, this team's solid. I'm going to give this... I think this is a strong 7. I don't think I trade anyone either. This is one of those teams I actually think you don't need to trade. I'm looking and I just don't see any particular issue. You're a little lacking at pitcher, I will say, but you have Frankie and Uma who can heat it, and they do at least have one semi-decent second pitch. I think you got Uma Morris for your pitcher. Yeah. Got Uma for your pitcher, put Frankie at catcher. Start centre field. Chico's a funny one because you kind of just stick him at second or third. He's a bit awkward as a fielder. He's got a good eye though, but that 30 coordination and 2 height kind of takes him out of the putting him in the outfield. I think Maynard needs to go in the infield as well. I think Zoe, Jose, and Star are your outfielders. Yeah, Jordan can at a push, but that would be a choice that you'd have to make. But I think that's what I'd go with for outfielders. So, rating, I'm going to give this a strong 7. I'm going to give it a strong 7. This is actually really good. Chico's a funny one because I feel like I always pick Chico. Chico just scores for fun. He's easy points on the board, but for a first rounder, the fielding is really weak. At least for a first rounder. So it's a bit of a gamble going Chico, but you can't deny that he just scores for fun. Yeah, strong 7. Right, Miki, Keisha, Kenny, Cal, Clanky, Tony, Jose, Ernie. That's really strong. That is. I thought the first one had a lot. Who was the first one? Wasn't it Nick J? I thought Nick J had a lot of arm. Oh my god. This is insane. Yeah, this is crazy. Perhaps a little lacking in power, but not really. The balance you've got here is you may not have like a massive power team, but you've got a full list of players who are very capable of hitting strong, and I think that counts for a lot. Randolph, I'm not a big fan of Randolph. 4 stamina is bad. 3 stamina is really bad. Not stamina, sorry. Winning. But Tony, Clanky, I like this team. I actually really like this team. I think you put Cal at shortstop. Keisha can go in the infield. Tony can go shortstop, but I feel like you have to put him. You might have to put Tony in the outfield. 4 height. Eye's 55 and coordination 60, so it's not terrible. And with 4 height and 100 arm, I'm just a little concerned because with Tracy and Randolph, even though their coordination and their height and their eye are both really solid, 4 speed and 3 speed. I don't know, 4 and 3 speed for an outfielder. I can't see it. It's going to struggle. They're going to struggle to get to the ball. Ernie, I imagine you're going to be on steel for your field, so Ernie's going to be really strong. This is a really good all-rounder. Randolph is your only issue. I would see if I could trade or set up a waiver for Randolph. I know Randolph. I know there's a lot of players left because it's a little league, so I know there's a lot of players that didn't get picked. I'd perhaps maybe look at a waiver and see what you can do there. But apart from that, this is solid. This is really solid too. I'm going to give this. Does this get a 7+? 7+. Does this get a strong 7? I'm going to give it a 7. I'm going to go right down the middle. I'm going to give it a 7 because Randolph. To be honest, Randolph deducts a whole point for me. Free speed is. I can't do it. I don't see how it works. Having that late of a rounder have such a strong bat is cool, but if you can't get to base, doesn't matter. You know, it's one of them. Right. Darth, Pablo, Mandy, Kay, Maya, Lance, Ezra, Tanya, Betty, Ray. That's a lot of batting. That is a lot of batting too. Good contact too. This is very much a just get it over the fence team. These defensive stats, oh my god. These defensive stats are rough, I'm not going to lie. Is Pablo your best defensive option? I think K is your best defensive option. I think Pablo has better fielding stats, but he also has 1 height. So K and Pablo need to go in the outfield. I think Ezra goes in the outfield. You need to be careful with Pablo though, because 1 height, he's an error machine. He really is. Maya, you put a catcher. Your infield's going to struggle a bit just because of the lack of arm, but your team is very much an outscore team. You just need to outscore everyone else. I've got something stuck in my eye. You need to outscore everyone else. That's where Daft's going to go with this. It's not terrible. I just would be very careful of that infield. I think if you're going to do a trade, if you plan on trading anyone, I think you have enough power here that you perhaps can afford to get rid of Lance. Because yes, Lance has 94 power and that's huge, but he has no ability to field, and you have already a lot of decent batting potential. I wouldn't go for anyone even particularly weak, but I'd go for someone. I'm not going to tell you guys who to pick because I feel like that's not fair. So I'll let you guys kind of do your own thing on who you decide you want to pick. If you do decide to want to change it all, but maybe go for someone even if they still have decent stats, like 70 something bat. That'll be enough. A decent line driver who can field, especially at this round in Little League. There's got to be someone available. There's got to be someone that you can pick up. There is people that will easily pick off Lance. There'll be people who want Lance. So what am I waiting this? I think if you're going for strictly an over the fence right now, this is a strong 7. I'm going to mark it down to a 7 on the basis of overall. I think it's slightly less because you're going to have trouble with that infield. But I think that's what you need to decide. Do you want to be just an over the fence team and hope that you just outscore and you're happy to concede a lot of runs? Or do you want to try and balance it out? If you do, I think Lance is probably the person you go to. Right. Mr. Pants. Derek Mowlin. That is double Jeter. Davey, Brenda, Hillary, Whitney, Chekhov, Billy, Bobby. Let me check something real quick. Daff has pitching options. We got to go Mandy, I guess. Okay, now you're fine. I was just wondering that, and I was like, where's Daft's pitcher? And I'm like, Mandy can pitch. Right, Petra. Right, stick Billy at first. Leave Billy at first. Do nothing else with Billy. Billy goes in first. Bobby can pitch. So can Brenda and Davey, but they're useful like elsewhere. Brenda is an excellent outfielder, so she goes there. Hillary's great everywhere, and so's Mowlin. And Jeter. Your field is insane. Your field is actually insane. Double Jeter is crazy. This is a line drive. Your games, if you're looking for a winning strategy, you probably won't have high scoring games because defensively you're going to be that good, and because you're lacking in bat a little bit. I know you've got Petra and Davey, but I still think compared to a lot of the other Little League teams that's going to be slightly underpowered, but I don't think it matters. I think you're that defensively strong that you're going to have a lot of like 2-0 or 3-0 type games. I think that's super strong. This team's really good. I love Hillary. I think Hillary is fantastic. Billy at first, it doesn't get much better than that. Bobby, I've got a lot of experience with Bobby at pitcher. I know he can pitch, and you have secondary options too, but I think if you put Davey infield, put Whitney infield. I mean, that's two height infielders, but it's kind of unavoidable. You're going to have two heighters. This team's really strong. The more I look at this team, the more I like it. Eight. I'm going to give it an 8. I think this draft so far, as long as he understands that he's not going for an over-the-fence team and he's going for just a defensive, just get on base, build up some tempo, and just get like low-scoring games. This is really strong. Yeah, I really like this. I'm going to give this an 8. Jordan A, Mikey, Sally, Thomas, Debbie, Jason, Mike, Overdob, Kenny, and Giambi. Okay, so Buff Sally is insane. Ronnie is useless. The only reason why I don't like the Dobbs Dubbo is Dobbo is where am I putting Ronnie? So I just hide him at third and hope for the best and hope the other team doesn't get that far, because at least unnerfed Ronnie has enough arm that you can put him at like catcher. I know he's got one height, but at least you can do that, and he does have potential of scoring some runs, but nerfed Ronnie is painful. The problem with Buff Sally is let's get Buff Sally and compare her to say Jeter. Buff Sally defensively is slightly better, but I don't think it's worth having Dobbs. I hate this. Jordan, you might not want to hear this, but I think what I'd actually recommend is trading Ronnie and just having Sally. Sally is more than good enough on her own. Mikey, Frank is your pitcher. Kenny can be your backup pitcher. See, I also have Mikey, and I've been struggling with Mikey because that 4 speed is so painful. I hate 4 speed. I feel like good speed is 6, 5 is passable, 4 is rough, and you've got quite a lot of 4s. I'd recommend getting rid of Ronnie. You can disagree, and you might be like, do you know what? I'm just going to let Sally carry me throughout the whole season, and she's good enough to do that. But not on her own, she needs some power. So you do have, obviously, Debbie and Mikey. I think I'd get rid of Ronnie. Replace Ronnie with, ironically, if this was unnerfed Ronnie, that'd be perfect, because you need some power. But I'd swap Ronnie for somebody with some power, I think. Jason's fine all round. Mike's fine all round. I know he's got 4 speed, but Debbie, Frank, Sally. I would recommend, John, for this team, because there is quite a lot of players who have quite a low speed, go for a pitch that is quite small. I'd almost recommend The arm's not terrible. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. I'd almost recommend going TCA. I'd almost recommend going Tin Can. I'm assuming you're putting Jason Giambi at first. Who's your catcher? See, this is a funny thing because you fall into this trap where you get players that have a lot of arm, or just or just players that are generally really good, like Buff Sally, and you're like, she has incredible arm. Where am I going to put her? And you're like, oh, she'd make an excellent catcher, and it's like, yes, she would, but her other stats are that good that you just can't put her at catcher because it's a waste. Do you put Kendall? Do you put Jason Kendall at catcher? You might have to put Kenny in the outfield. I'd recommend, and again, everything I say, it's totally dependent on how you feel, because you don't, you guys probably have more experience than me, at least playing the regular backyard baseball. I know the batting system is different online, and you need to keep that in mind. If you don't know, the online backyard baseball has a different batting system than regular. I play a lot of season mode, and it kind of ruins me. I'm not going to lie. I don't play a lot of online because being on UK time, I just can't make the times match up. There's nobody online, basically. So if you want to practice, do it online with people. Batting practice in season mode just isn't going to do it. What am I weighting this team? I'm going to give it a week 7. There's a lot of potential. This bumps up to a 7, in my opinion. Just my opinion. If you replace Wani. And I'd go Tin Can if I had to pick a field. Tin Can's a bit funky. A lot of people don't like Tin Can, but I think you need a small pitch for this team. Buff Sally's so good. I keep looking at Buff Sally's stats. It's insane. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll go with that. Yeah, week 7. Right. Quer, Juan Gonzalez, Mark McGuire, Vladimir Guerrero, Randy Johnson, Sean Green, Alex Gonzalez, Carlos Beltran, Meisenheimer, Scotty Woff. I think this is good arm. This is real. Now I'm looking at the arm at this team. All of these literally everybody has decent arm. Your speed is not bad at all. Meisenheimer is going to be your pitcher, so free speed is rough. Even for a pitcher, free speed is rough, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm actually looking at your team, and the more I look at it, the more I'm like, you have Randy Johnson, Sean Green, and Meisenheimer. You have 3 pitchers. And at least 2 of those pitchers are really strong. Do you know what I'd almost consider? And this is going to sound wild. It probably is a little bit wild. But because I don't trust Meisenheimer at all in the field with free speed, I'd put Meisenheimer at pitcher, and I'd put Randy at catcher. And I know that seems super wild, but I mean, you could put Wendy at first, and then put Scotty Woff at catcher. Yeah, I think that's better, actually. Scotty Woff at catcher. Put Randy second, maybe? Definitely on the infield. Sean Green going in the outfield. Juan Gonzalez is going in the outfield. I think Vladimir Guerrero goes on the outfield as well, which means Mark goes on the infield. I'd put Mark at first, Beltran at third. Yeah, I think I'm going with that. I think I like that. You've got enough power with Mark. Mark was actually the MVP of last season's little league because he was scoring just that many home runs. That was with Matty though, who did go. Did he go 14-0? I'm pretty sure when Matty went 14-0. So take that with a pinch of salt. But Mark is an insane batter. This is a really good team. I think you have too many pitches. I'd almost recommend. Do you know what? Again, this is going to sound crazy. If you're not going to replace Meisenheimer, I think you're going to find it hard to get somebody who's willing to take a free speed. But assuming you don't manage to get rid of Meisenheimer, keep Meisenheimer as your pitcher, I'd almost consider trading Randy. A lot of people will want Randy. And Randy's excellent, don't get me wrong, he's one of the best pitchers in the game. But I feel like if you traded Randy for like a solid outfielder, I mean, look at the same round here. if you traded Randy for like a Debbie or a Anna, not Amanda, yeah, or a Middleton, like this would be so strong. Right now, I'm going to give this a soft 8. But I honestly think if you replace Randy with a solid fielder, this could be a strong 8. Yeah. I like this team. It's really good. Right. Jasmine, Lindsay, Xena, Fred Benson, Anna Goodrow, Sonia Hagen, Molly, Lena, Bobby, Rumor. That is a lot of bat. Running stats are all solid. Molly has 4 speed, but she also has 90 arm. That is the easiest putter at catcher I have ever seen. Lena and Anna. Lena, Anna, and Sonia, I think, all go in the outfield. Ramona can be your pitcher. At a push, not an incredible pitching choice. You're a little low on pitches, but what else are you going to do? You're definitely not going to put Lindsay at pitcher. Lindsay's far too good for that. Put Lindsay somewhere in the infield. You've got a lot of 2 height. That's the only issue you have. The only issue you have a lot of 2 height. And you are going to fumble the ball a lot. But with that much bat, you're another team where I'm like, listen, you get Lindsay, Fred on base. You have so much potential to just get out of the park. Yours is a high-scoring team. It's a high-scoring team. I think due to some errors, you're going to concede a couple of runs, but I don't think it matters. I think you would outscore most teams. Because all of your big batters all have good contact too. Even Molly, 45 contact is enough. I'm going to give this an 8. I would say strong 8, but I do think your fielding is a little bit weak. I mean, not fielding, sorry, pitching is a little bit weak. But apart from that, that's really solid. It's a good team. I think you'll do well. Right, Tristan, Leah, Zenon, Lubel, Amanda Hellman, Barb, Ivan, Jocinda, Annie. Oh my god. These Little League teams are insane. Okay, right, so Leah, you are spoiled for choice. You're another one. You potentially have 3 pitches as well. Amanda, Ivan, Leah. Ivan goes out in the field. Jocinda. I always like putting Jocinda at first, but you know what? Because you have Annie, I think you put Annie at first, put Jocinda in the outfield. Trent can go at catcher. I'm just thinking who I'm putting as your pitcher. Damn, that's true. That's tough, actually. That's tough. Obviously, Amanda is probably the obvious choice. Amanda is the obvious choice. It's just 2 heights. That's all it is. I have a thing against 2 heights. Yeah, put Amanda there. This team's really good. This team's really good too. You're a little all I will say is you're very dependent on Leo and Zenon to get you over. Emily can. Emily's really good too, but there's some fields that I think you are looking at Zenon and Leo. Zenon scores for fun. Zenon was one of the biggest, I think, run scorers as well in last season. So definitely look at Zenon. If you can use a bit of that speed, Leo. Barb. Speed's not bad. 5, like I said, 5's passable. Not incredible speed, but reasonable. This team, is it a B- or an 8? Is it a B- or an 8? Excuse me. Is it a 8? Is it a soft 8, or is it an 8? I was going to do letters previously. It's an 8. I'll give it an 8. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Belladonna, Maria, Sarah, Courtney, Middleton, Kristen, Whitaker, Horace, Randy, Heather. So the batting is pretty weak. There's a lot of arm. And there's quite a decent amount of speed, too. The speed's not terrible. Sarah in the outfield. Samuel in the outfield. Francesca in the outfield. I think Sarah and Kristen, despite their arm, I think are too good to put a catcher. I'd almost put Wendy. I think I put Wendy Uno at catcher. I think 78 is reasonable enough. Defensively, this is solid. There's a lot of two heights, and again, you're going to fumble. There's going to be some errors, but it can't really be helped. Would I... There's nobody I'd trade for Tristan St. I don't think there's anyone I'd trade for Belladonna's for team either. I think you're going to struggle selling a Horace, but Horace is the one I'd consider selling, but I don't know who I'd almost consider... See, I'm not going to look at the kids' stats visual. That's what I want to do. I want to look at the kids' stat visual and see who could you like trade for and who could you waiver for. But that's... I don't want to tell you guys who to pick. I feel like that's kind of... You're missing the point, right? Once you get to that. So... This team's solid, though. Strong 7? I think it's a strong 7. Yeah. I think batting-wise, there's enough people here that you can bat. The contact is good. The speed is fine. Defense is fine. There's a lot of 2s that drops it down a little bit for me. I think that keeps it out of 8, but strong 7. I think Maria Luna is a little underwhelming. Even with buff, might be a little underwhelming for first pick, but she's more than good enough. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Right, Farmer Pop. Ken, Marcellus, Kathy, Lebrona, Wally, Kimmy, Alan, Jim Kiley, Fernando Diaz. You've got some great batting options. Do you have a pitcher? Does Belladonna have a pitcher? I know you've got Maria. Yeah, Kristen. Yeah, okay. It's fine. Fernando Diaz can pitch. Fernando Diaz will have to pitch. I don't think he's going to have much of a choice. Jim can go catcher, outfield. Wally. Marcellus Griffey in the outfield. You are going to have buffed Kimmy and buffed... I assume you're going Ekman Akers. And if you are, Kimmy can kind of go anywhere. I'd keep that in mind. I think with buffed Kinney, I think you put Kimmy in the outfield instead. Arm is... you have Gary and Rachel, which are struggling for arm, but yeah, Rachel. The problem with Rachel is the same problem I have with Luan, only it's kind of the opposite way around. Whereas Luan is literally just speed, get straight on base, and that's pretty much all she's got going for her. Rachel is a get it over the fence, and that's about it. She can get to base for 5, but defensively you need to catch the ball. If you don't catch the ball, you're kind of screwed. So I think I put Rachel in the infield. Actually. Yeah. This team's fine. There's a lot of batting potential. Again, this could be a high-scoring team with Gary as well. 7? I'll go 7. Would I trade anyone? Honestly, I think with Rachel you have... I think with Gary there and Rachel, I think you have enough power with Marcellus and Kenny that you can get rid of Rachel. I think you need someone a little bit more overall. I'd go with. If you can get someone like a Middleton or something like that, just someone who is just a bit of an all-rounder, a BT. I think that will serve you a lot better because I think you need some arm here. You can afford to have one not great arm. It's pretty unavoidable. You're always going to get someone who's a bit weak in the arm. But that's what I'd go with. But there's no doubt she'll clear the park. Right, Kirisu, Tonya, Lowy, Faye, Parker, Veronica, Isabel, Gillian, Kurt, Melissa. Right, Kirisu, Philly Goat. Right, let's have a look. Lowy, Outfield. Who's your pitcher? You've got Kurt, haven't you? Or Melissa. But honestly, I'd put full speed Melissa. Is that what we're doing? Isabel Muelli can pitch too. I'm a little concerned about the outfield. I think you got Lowy, Fair, definitely. Veronica, yes. Jillian can go in the infield. Isabel, catcher. Tonya, shortstop. 10 coordination though. I think you're struggling. The only thing I think you might be struggling is you're struggling for a shortstop. I think, but it's not bad. I think this is a strong 7. I just think you might want to consider trading and getting yourself someone who's at least competent at a shortstop. If you get rid of, say, I'd honestly keep Kurt. I actually think Melissa's not terrible. I don't like these players. This is what struggles me. These high power teams. Not high power teams. These high power characters that are kind of just one tricks. I don't see the appeal. If you get someone who's a bit of an all rounder, like a BT, I think that makes his team so much stronger. It's a 7. It's a 7. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I just think the infield is going to struggle a little bit. But you've got a lot of height. And trust me, if I found out anything about playing online so far, it's that height is very forgiving. Height seems to matter a lot. If you get a good height, those lack of errors really makes a difference in the long run. Right, Carefree, Sosa, Bonds, Claudia, Earl, Fabian, Jeremy, Joella, Dimitri, Jerry. Do. So Arm is probably your issue here. Bonds is fantastic anywhere. Sosa is fantastic anywhere. Claudia is fantastic anywhere. Jeremy is at least competent everywhere. Dimitri's not. I'd honestly. Would I put Dimitri at first? Yeah, I think I put Dimitri at first. The general rule is, I would say, for all of these teams, I haven't looked at the others, but I'm already, I'd say, at first, have at least 3 height. Because that's the one place where you don't want errors to happen. So I think Dimitri goes first. Your outfield, I think you do need Bonds at shortstop, so I think I go Sosa, Claudia, Burnett in the outfield. As for second and third, you kind of got to hope for the best. And I'd go like Jerry, Joella, Fabian. I'd go Fabian, Jerry, and I'd consider going for Joella. Are we starting to see a trend yet? These high power players, these high power characters that are kind of just, that's all they do. I just don't like them. If you traded a Joella for someone who's a bit more all roundy, like a Gwen, I think that's really strong. But hey, if you're a good batter, these work really well. But if you're not a great batter, they kind of become useless. But I think we go. It's a strong 7. Get rid of Joella. Get somebody who's a bit of an all-rounder. Somebody with a bit more arm. No. It's a 7. It's not a strong 7. It's a strong 7 if you get rid of Joella and get someone who's got a bit more arm. This could be a strong 7, maybe a weak 8. For now, I think we go 7. Malbon, Jay Green, Bowie, Grace, Jones, Sully, Yvonne, Catherine, Nan, Gwyn. What is Catherine doing there? I don't know what Catherine's doing there. I'm going to be honest. Right, Tony can go outfield or first. Do you have any other free heights? You've got Yvonne. Nan, I assume, is going to be your... Oh, you've got Grace as well. Grace is going to have to be your pitcher because she's not built to do any field work. Grace is your pitcher. I think Jay is wasted at pitch. It's the same reason why I don't like Leo at pitcher, because I feel like it's wasted. I know she's an incredible pitcher, but it's just not the point. Like, look at these like coordination stats. Arm strength's good, running's good. See, I'd trade Catherine, but I'm a little concerned you're not going to get anyone who's going to want to trade Catherine. So, in that case, what I do is I think I stick Catherine maybe on third. I think, who's your other three? Bowie can go... Bowie, Yvonne, and Sully are your outfielders. Sticking Sully in centre field. Your catcher... It has to be Porter, right? And stick Tony at first. I'd almost consider putting Tony at shortstop. The two height and like a little arm that not Grace. That who was I looking at? I was looking at someone. Actually, the arm isn't that bad. Sully at centre field, he should be catching. If he doesn't catch, then obviously it's a bit of an issue. But he can run. The good thing about Sully is having 9 speed. Even if you drop the ball, you can just run with it and just run close enough that you can get to one of your other fielders who can throw, like your Bowie. This isn't a bad team. Catherine, unfortunately, drops it an entire point for me. This would be a strong 8 if Catherine wasn't in it. But because Catherine's in it, I think it's a weak 8. It's a strong 7. It's a strong 7. Still a really good team. I think Catherine lets it down. I'd honestly consider, if I was Malbon, using your waivers, get rid of Catherine, and perhaps getting someone a bit more all-roundy. Or at least get someone who can do better infield work. Catherine is one of those. You look at her stats and you're like, she's kind of like trying to be average at everything, but because she's so far down the list, she's just below average at everything, which I just don't think helps. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Right. Tech. I'm just going to call you Tech. I think it's Tequilos? I'm just going to call you Tech. Pete, Dawn, Alex, Beatty, Pamela, Libby, Hendricks, Quan, Liz. Christina Beaton's a good pitcher. It's not what you're going for. You're going to use You're going to use wing. I hope you plan on using on wing. Catcher, you don't have a natural catcher, but you have plenty of people who can at least fill that wall. If you go, actually, what you could do is you could go Beatty as your pitcher, Wing Quan as your catcher. Pamela has to go in the outfield. Dawn has to go in the outfield. Alex can go in the outfield. Libby has free height, so you can put her in the infield. Pete can go in the infield. Pete can play pretty much anywhere, but that eye concerns me a little bit for outfield, so I think Pete goes on the infield. Libby can go anywhere. Hendrick, again, say it with me. These power characters kind of one tricks for me, but it's not a bad team. It's not a bad team at all. I'll give it a weak 8. Yeah. It's a weak 8. Would I trade anyone? Probably not. Probably not. Raphael's funny because Raphael is high enough up on the tier list that even though he is a clear one trick, no, I'd still trade him. I'd still trade him. I don't know. I can't see the appeal in these. Right. Cywin, Julie Dunkel, Ross Sass, Sophie Meyer, Mo Vaughn, Lisa Crockett, Alexis Wise. Oh my god. Okay, I'm going to have to sit up for this one. Okay, this team is... look at... They've all got, like, this. It's decent height, too. I've actually versed this team. And this team plays exactly how it looks. It is just an over-the-fence team. But not only is it an over-the-fence team, it's an over-the-fence team with good arm. So they can kind of defend too. Damn, this team's really good. This team's really good. I'm trying to think of ways I'd change. Sophie's fine. See, Sophie is that big power, but she's not a one trick like John. Like, look at these defensive stats; they're fine. I know. Sophie's got four speed, but I think I forgive her just for the rest of these stats. Jessica can go anywhere. Dunkel can go anywhere. I probably wouldn't put Dunkel in centre field because of the eye, but Crockett at pitch. Yeah, Crockett at pitch. Do I put Sophie Meyer at first? I think I do. Do you know what? Because Sophie Meyer's speed is lacking, I think I put Sophie Meyer at first. That's 4 height with 80 coordination. That's really strong. Like, I really like that. Sophie Meyer was the first option. That's actually really good. Do you have a natural catcher? I think Wassasas is wasted at catcher, so I wouldn't put Wassasas there. Gwen can go. Do you know what? Put Holly 72 is a little weak for a catcher, I'm not going to lie. Maybe Ingrid. I think I might be lacking a little bit on this team, but not enough that I consider it to be a huge issue. This might be my first 9. Soft 9, but it's... Is it a strong 8 or a soft 9? It's a soft 9. It's a soft 9. I think so. I think this is the best looking one so far. Junior, is this the last one? Thank God, we are 50 odd minutes in. Right, Henry Dijon, Sean Paul? I don't know. Right, Jane Davis, Francis Brewer, Stan Olafson, Mike Cordova, Wendy Parsons, Dan. This is really good too. This is one of those where I just read the names and I'm like, yeah. I have experience with Wendy, Stan, and Francis, and they are excellent. I had all 3 of these in my last season for my little league. I actually traded Stan for Alicia Blakely, but Stan's really good, and that is a close trade. Maybe a slight eye problem, but everyone's gonna be lacking in something, right? That's kind of the thing. The speed. I've just noticed the speed. With that much power. well, Francis Jane. God damn. Look at the arm. Have you ever heard the Saints saving best till last? I think we might have just done that. This is insane. The only negative I would potentially say is the eye and coordination for your outfielders, with the exception of Stan, because Stan's great. They're all a bit one or the other. And height. I would honestly compare Siren and Juniors together, whereas Siren's got the height. Junior kind of makes up for it with the... Oh my God, Siren's got speed as well. Nah, do you know what? Siren and Junior, I'm giving them both 9s. They're both getting 9s. Yeah, these two are gross. These two teams are actually disgusting. Would I trade anybody? No. I honestly don't think I would. Matty Cordova at pitch, Lisa at pitch. These are solid. Maybe I'd trade Alexis, but that's because she's one of these power characters. But see, this is what I mean. If you look at the difference between Sophie and Alexis, this is what I mean by one trick. Sophie just generally has that all-rounder where you can forgive her for being such a high power. Alexis, this is where they lack a little bit. But I think the rest of the team, with that arm, kind of compensates for it. Yeah, they're both going to get 9. I think these two are definitely the two teams to be looking out for. Right, before I finish this video, we may as well get it to the hour mark. I will show you my team, and I'll show you exactly why you should enjoy these teams while you can. So, where am I? I am... Where have I gone? Here I am. Right, so I've got Chico. Chico's cool. Mikey... But the point I'm trying to make here is... Here's Luan for me. Luan was my 5th pick. I managed to get Luan in round 5 because that's where we were at. If we scroll down to Nick, Luan is an 8th pick in Little League. Because there's less people in Little League, you just don't go down the tiers that far. So the difference in ability is huge. Absolutely huge. Who else do we have? Whitaker. I think I saw Whitaker somewhere too. Who has Whitaker? Yeah, Whitaker is down here. She's 6th. She's my 4th. Like you do not get a lot of choice once the leagues start going a bit higher up. So enjoy these while you can. Have fun this season. That's what's important. I'll make sure to be keeping an eye on all your games. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns about the season, if you have anything at all you kind of want a little bit of help with, I can't tell you guys what to trade and what to pick. We will be reviewing trades, but we can't tell you why it's good or why it's bad, basically, because we want you guys to at least experiment a little bit and have fun with it. So apart from that, enjoy the season. Enjoy the season. These are all good teams. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I will see you guys. Well, I'll see you guys in week 1. Alright guys, good luck.